It's time for Sunrise with the Sleepy Boys.
Forgive us, Father, for we are about to sin and be very naughty boys.
So, I mentioned that I'm dyeing my hair again in the group chat a little bit earlier.
I noticed.
But here's the thing: is my sister and her family got home before I was they got home a lot faster than I expected. So right now I have fucking blonde hair. Like It's not like my hair was blondish before because I, dyed it before and then the dye faded. But hold up. Let me get you a video of this shit so you can see it.
Oh boy.
Fuck, let me get a good angle here.
Holy shit.
I think I might have left the dye in a little too long.
Dude, that's fucking wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it said so. The box I got said it would go down eight levels of color, right? And I was like, all right, that sounds good enough. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting in the blue tomorrow.
Blue, please.
Blue. Yeah, I got to keep a little bit of Brandon with me somehow.
That's how you keep me with you?
Yeah, just fucking blue hair and picture of you that I keep duct taped to the underside of my bed frame.
Underside of your bed frame, bitch. I am like ceiling quality.
No, you absolutely are. You deserve to be that picture on Rusty's ceiling that Clark falls through. I'm not discrediting that, but the things that I do when I'm looking at your picture.
Since you brought that up, can we talk about the fact that they made him and Audrey shared like a single bed, and they made the grandparents sleep in a bunk bed?
I think that was the best part of that fucking movie.
Like, how was that?
That's what you call finding a solution.
That didn't make any sense at all. You made this old man get into the top bunk.
Maybe they just hated each other so much they were like, please don't make us share a bed.
And they were like, that's the punch. You know what? We weren't going to make you share a bed, but then you start sassing off. Guess what? You're sharing a bed. Like, what? No.
You didn't wax your upper lip this time. You're sharing a bed. God, that movie's great. So,
wait a minute. No, it's her mom that waxes her upper lip.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah, not Beverly D'Angelo.
God, Beverly D'Angelo did not age well, did she?
Neither did Chevy Chase.
True, but no. Let's be real here. No guy really ages well, aside from Paul Rudd.
That's not true at all. Look at George Clooney, Brad Pitt.
Let's see. I never found either of them particularly attractive. So,
because you're wrong.
Look, man. Here's the thing.
You found Chevy Chase attractive?
I never said that.
Well, that's what you implied.
Here's the thing. No, okay, you're right. Brad Pitt and George Clooney have looked the same forever.
Oh, another person who got better looking with age. God damn it. Michael Scott.
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, thank you.
You know who else did?
You know who, another Steve Martin also got better looking with age.
Right, but he came out the pussy with white hair though.
Also true, but there's a difference because then he just like grew into it even more, and I don't know, it started working for me. Like, it
started working for me when I hit puberty, and I just started fucking slow stroking it.
He essentially stopped aging.
Well, yeah, because he came out the pussy looking like he was 87 years old.
Yeah. He looked older as a baby than he does now.
Just astounding. Oh, I forgot I had a Stegosaurus coin from Jurassic Park.
I am a Stegosaurus. Speaking of coins, I have a little bit of a dilemma that I want to bring up with you, and I want to see if this is one of those. You know how Jeff has the like, are we an asshole kind of thing?
Is we the asshole? Yeah.
Right.
No, wait,
this is
that's is we dumb? Yeah. Sorry, I got two things that Jeff does mixed up. Good. Continue.
well, Is We Dumb is a podcast that
Right.
Jeff and I
Yeah.
like to listen to.
Yeah.
But so anyways, so I have a thing that I've done a couple times now, and I think I might be in the wrong.
How much money have you stolen from your gift shop?
So I haven't stolen money, but it wasn't my money.
Oh my god.
So there's a parking meter at the hospital, and
Okay.
on multiple occasions now, anytime that someone puts in like change or like dollar bills and stuff, it spits out change as like
Quarters and
over
stuff,
dollar,
yeah.
like that, like
Oh yeah. Gold dollars and
coins,
shit.
gold dollars and stuff.
The
Yeah.
Sacagaweas, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. On multiple occasions, I have seen that they have left their change, and it's always like $5 or something like that in like gold coins behind, like gold dollars behind.
Oh my god.
And
you being the smarmy asshole you are, just like, oh hey, $5 in change.
yeah,
Is that what you're getting at?
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
they're not coming back for it because they've already driven off. And my thought process is, well, somebody else is going to take it, so why shouldn't
someone else is going to be an evil bastard. Why shouldn't I be that evil bastard?
let me be evil for you. I will take care of it. You get to have a clean conscience.
Oh, jeez, Brandon, what am I going to do with you when I get down there and pin you to the bed and tie you up?
I hope I get a good old thrashing.
So for our listeners, welcome to the show. Man, I haven't said welcome to the show in a long fucking time.
Welcome to the show. It's a shit show.
Really, truly is.
Also, it has been forever since it's just been you and me.
It really has.
Or
I
you
think
and I, whichever you prefer.
me and you. I think, like, if I'm not mistaken, actually, let me pull out my trusty cellular device here and double check this. I don't think
know
that,
why in my goddamn head I feel like you had one of those. When you said that, I imagined you whipping out like an old Nokia, but not like the brick one, the one that you pushed the button and it flipped open.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Yeah,
man,
that sounds about right.
So here's the thing: is the last time that there was just two of us doing a recording session was about 2 weeks ago. It was just me and Jeff, right?
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count. No, the last time it was just you and me was, and this was actually this was one of those like segments that I had saved up for a rainy day. Was back in March, but it was actually from a recording session back when it was just you and me.
Wait, so when was the last time you and I sat down? Not one that we banked, but one that when was the last time you and I sat down? It had to be back in September of last year.
No, it was a little bit later than that. It was very shortly after the Halloween episode. It was 2 weeks. It was the week after the Halloween episode.
That's right, because you and I were talking about it. It's like, it's just the two of us.
Yeah, it was the episode where you told me I wasn't allowed to eat a fucking penguin, and I still hold that against you.
I forgot that happened by ourselves.
That was just you and me, buddy. It was a great fucking experience, aside from being told that I can't eat a fucking penguin.
They mate for life, man. It just ain't right.
So do humans, but, divorce is a real thing. I should know.
How often... Yeah, but I don't think penguins get divorced. I think they just get widowed after a seal eats them or something.
Or a mark. Can you imagine
I'm just imagine you shooting up out of the water, mouth wide open.
No, I have more of a mental image where I'm just kicking down a door and just walking in. All right, listen up, motherfuckers.
Hold on.
I'm gonna eat one of you.
Are you feeling a wild penguin, or did you just kick in the door at the zoo?
No, I brought the door specifically to kick it in.
I was imagining these penguins like, what the fuck is this dude doing? And then like, bam, hey, motherfuckers, I'm here to eat you.
who's getting 8 tonight, and you have that one
Good
gay
news
penguin.
is when the iceberg. Oh, Mark, no, you didn't.
I didn't get to finish because you were talking about the damn iceberg. But what I was gonna say is, you got that one gay penguin in the back one. Oh, he eating what now?
He gonna eat me?
He gonna eat something.
Why is he gotta be gay? Why can't it just be Why can't it just be like a horny, unserviced female penguin who's like, my husband isn't full service?
Why can't I eat out a gay penguin? Why is that an issue now? First, you tell me I'm not even. This is going to a weird place already. Holy shit!
It's going to a weird place.
I like it though.
Of course you do, Mark.
Man,
okay.
We should not be allowed to record just you and I anymore. It gets real weird real fast.
I feel really sorry for you on multiple levels, but most importantly because of this.
All right, wait. Why do you feel bad for me?
So, I just had my 30th birthday last week.
Yes, I know, and I'm really sad that I couldn't be there for it.
Yeah, I'm very sad that you didn't get to be there for it either. Because I would like to tell you something that Bailey, Key's wife.
I know who Bailey is.
Yeah, I'm saying it for the audience.
Oh, for the audience, right.
I would
Not Bailey, Jeff Stong.
No. I would like to tell you something that she brought up to everybody at the party that she wanted everyone to expound upon.
Yes.
She wanted to know what kind of kinks certain animals would have.
Oh my god, I love it.
And it got
fuck.
so nasty and really weird. Just talking about what kinks animals are into and ugh.
That is right up my fucking alley.
It is. It absolutely is. I didn't get to enjoy the conversation all that much though because I was in charge of the grill. Jose was helping me learn my new grill, so Jose and I were out there drinking beers and grilling.
Why the fuck were you cooking on your own birthday? That's some fucked up shit, man.
Well, no. So one, I just got this brand new grill the day of my birthday. Like I had just finished setting it. Chris and I had just set it up.
Oh, how's that small bastard doing?
I think he's pissed off at me, and I'll get into that a little later. I was a tit tonight, and I was very inconsiderate of what was going on with him, and I feel bad about it.
Oh my god.
But because I'm a selfish prick and things have to go on my time schedule, I didn't think about I didn't think about somebody else, and I feel bad.
Okay. We'll get into that.
Anyways, yeah, we'll get into it because it's not often that I come to the show and I've got grievances against myself. Usually it's you or Jeff.
I don't have grievances against you ever.
No, I'm talking about it yourself.
Oh, no, I don't have grievances. I just fucking hate myself.
That would be considered a grievance.
I'm not grieving about it. I've given up on that grief a long time ago.
Okay. Well, so anyways, what were we talking about? So no. We were outside.
Animal
we
kinks.
Were working. Yeah. So I didn't get to enjoy the conversation nearly as much. I only got to hear bits and pieces because Jose and I were grilling.
You was grilling.
But then Jose did most, it got to the point where so many people showed up, I had to start playing host.
Yeah.
And then Jose, just being the amazing person that he is, even though he just got off of work where he works, he's a pit,
where he cooks,
pit master. Yeah, not just a cook, where he is like a pit master and he's in the grills outside. It's super hot. And then he gets to my party and I'm like, Jose, I'm a dumb white boy and I don't know how to use this grill yet.
Where is he working now?
He works at Style Switch.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but it sounds like a place I would never shop.
It's a burger joint, not burger joint. It's a barbecue joint. They do make burgers every once in a while.
It's a bar mitzvah joint.
It is. We just go in there.
That's where I thought you were going with that.
No. But no, it's a barbecue joint. When you're here in town, we'll go.
Sick.
But yeah, so essentially, so one of the animals, for instance, they were asking what kind of kink would an elephant have, and I came up with two. So you're not wrong. You're not far off. I said docking. Um, just because it just made sense when you have a trunk like that.
Yeah.
And then also I said, no, because it wasn't. Elephant was trunking or docking, and then hippos came up afterwards, and I said that they have a foot fetish because they're into them big toes.
God damn. I really wish I could have been there for that
And
conversation.
then it got real nasty after that. My two were very innocent on the scale of where it ended up going.
Okay, well, tell us. Where did it go?
I didn't hear the rest of it, but
You bitch.
I was outside. I'm sorry. I'm sure Key can tell us the rest next time he's on here, little fucker.
Bitch. Yeah. You want to talk about grievances? That's where 87% of our grievances come in.
No, but so anyways, to get into my personal grievance against myself and why I'm a selfish prick.
Yeah.
So as you know, we said that we were recording tonight, which we are currently doing.
As we are.
I share a workspace with Chris because Chris sleeps in like his room is in the whiskey/recording room.
Right.
Until future, and who knows what happens. But so anyways, so we have a shared space, and he's in our chats. He knows that we're talking about recording and that Monday nights are recording nights. I get home and immediately go see Jasmine and like catch up with her real quick, get my dinner, and then I head to the room and the door's closed. And so I knock on the door because I'm not completely inconsiderate. I knock. So I knock on the door, and Chris goes, "Occupado," and I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean, occupado?" And then it was at that point that I heard a woman on the other side of the door laugh.
Did you cock block Chris?
I cock blocked Chris.
You bastard.
And it gets so he answers the door wrapped up in a bed sheet. He's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, I'm sitting there holding my food and my drink, my beer, just standing at the door. And I'm like, "Chris, it's Monday night." And he goes, "Yeah, what about it?" And I'm like, "I have to record a podcast." And he goes, that's tonight, isn't it? Can you give me like 10 minutes? And I'm just like, yeah. And he's so, well, at first he was like, when are you supposed to record? And I was like, technically right now. And he's like, oh, give me 10 minutes. And then I just walk outside where Jasmine's hanging out with the dogs. And then I tell her what happened. And I was like, she's like, why are you annoyed? And I was like, supposed to be recording the podcast right now. And Chris is getting it on in the bedroom. And she goes, well, you're going to let him like, you're not rushing him, are you? And I'm like, well, he said he'd give me 10 minutes. And Jasmine's like, Brandon.
Oh,
that's not cool. And I was like, oh no, I know I'm in trouble if Jasmine's telling me that this isn't like I fucked up. And so Chris is like getting dressed and like getting his stuff together because I guess he's gonna go finish the deed somewhere else. And I know this is probably too much info to give about him, and he probably wouldn't be thrilled about it. But I figure I'm in the doghouse, so I might as well double down. So yeah, he's finishing up, like he's just getting his stuff together, and I'm just like getting the computer set up. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I just figured that because we were like in the same chat group and everything, like you see all the messages, and he goes, do you think I was looking at the messages this whole time? And I'm like, well, I know that now. I don't know when this started. Like,
to be fair, the message was sent out like 3 hours ago. It wasn't like
yeah. It's not like it was sent out and then it's like, oh, the signal went out. Gondor is calling for aid. I must go.
Here's the thing is that's the first thing I do on Mondays when I wake up. It's like,
Yeah, the first thing you do is the first thing in the morning, or when you wake up.
well, I mean,
You
not when I
always
wake up, because like I wake up at
right,
5:30.
right. But like
Inconsiderate.
you're considerate to like you message by like 8:30, 9 o'clock, like, hey, who's
Yeah.
in for tonight? And so yeah, he had enough time to know, but yeah, it just escaped his mind, and I feel bad about it now.
Hold up, I'm on an elevator.
You're on an elevator?
Yeah. I have to get a couple of things out of the car real quick.
Jesus, we're recording a podcast.
And I am doing
This is literally the most important thing that you do.
You're not wrong about that. Do you have more for the story, or are you done talking about being an
That's
asshole?
it. It's a developing story, so it could go elsewhere. Who knows?
Yeah, fair enough. So
As of right now, I don't think he's mad at me. At least if he is, he's not saying it, which makes me think that he definitely is mad at me.
here's the thing, bud. I'm gonna be real with you. One best friend to another best friend. I'd be fucking pissed if you came in and cockblocked me. Like, there's a lot of things I would do for you, bud, but if you came in and cockblocked me like that, your friendship, our friendship would be on thin ice, bud.
But considering the circumstances, like, I understand if I just like cockblock you out of nowhere, but it's like, hey man, like, this is the thing that I do every Monday night.
Yeah, that's fair. I see where you're coming from with that. But do you know the last time I had someone else touch my penis?
Yeah, but Chris is gorgeous, so he constantly has people just all the time.
Wow. I feel attacked, and I do not appreciate that. I feel like you did that intentionally, but also I feel like you just were trying to hurt me.
A little both. It was playful banter.
Fair enough. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I kind of love this recording while on the go thing that I've got going on right now.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. If you were getting your funk on a night that we were supposed to be podcasting, I go, well, that's just more work Mark has to take care of later, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I mean, no matter who recorded, I'd still be the one editing it. So yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I was actually really tempted to say, like, hey, you guys take care of it without me tonight, because with moving and all that. But yeah, I was like, you know what?
We wouldn't have had a podcast because it would have apparently just been me talking to myself.
I would be curious just once to get a podcast with just one of us talking. And just like, I feel like it would just be like a whole bunch of one-liners and then just dead silence waiting for some kind of audience reaction. But we don't have an audience, so yeah. So speaking of, like I said, I moved into my new place. I'm actually kind of unpacking right now. Luckily, I didn't bring up all of my shit because there's still more shit in the car, but I got the essentials out of the car, namely my computer and my pillows. But so I'm living in a dorm now. I'm getting the university experience I never got, which I'm happy about.
Wait,
but
you're moving in? Oh, that's right. You're moving into a dorm.
I mean, technically it's not a dorm. But it is referred to as student living because it's not owned by the college. But, so the place has come fully furnished, right? I don't have to buy any furniture or anything like that. Problem is
convenient.
Problem we ran into is the shipment for a lot of the furniture didn't make it on time.
Oh, no.
So my furniture, aside from my desk, all my furniture's here. I've got my bed, I've got my dresser, which it's small, so I'm just going to use it for my snacks because I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like, so we don't have we don't have our like living room set up yet, which is fine. I'm not like, I don't plan on spending a lot of time around my roommates as it is, because that's just how I am. But so as a like, hey, we fucked up, we're sorry. They gave us free parking for the entire month of July, which is great. It's because it's like covered parking garage type thing. But the problem is the one complaint I do have to file against this place. So the bed size, like the bed's it's a fucking dorm. Like, let's be real here. It's just a fucking twin size bed, right? But the thing is
Sure.
it is so far off the goddamn ground. It is.
Yeah. Well, because it's for like storage underneath, right?
Right. Yeah. And I get that. I didn't come into that expecting that, right? So the you know how tall I am. I'm 6'2". But the thing is my legs are like 2/3 of that height.
Sure.
So when I say that this bed comes up to my hip,
Oh, Jesus.
like that's a good 4 feet off the like 3.5, 4 feet off the ground. And so when I first came in, I started moving my stuff in on last Friday, and so that would have been 2 weeks ago for our listeners. So I got in and I was like, man, I'm fucking tired. So I laid down on the bed, kind of took a little short snooze because I didn't feel like going back and dealing with 5 dogs. And I set an alarm, and my alarm goes off, and I'm like, all right, let's get back to it. And I go to just kick my legs off and start my day as I do normally, and I fell. I fell because I forgot that there was a 4-foot drop below me. And that actually reminds me of a story that it's very akin to something that happened to me in the Coast Guard.
Okay.
Man, I haven't really shared any Coast Guard stories on this show, have I?
No, you really haven't. Not too many.
I've got a lot of them, but this one just reminds me of it. The tall bed thing reminds me of it. So we had our barracks at the station when I was in Portland, and so we had a bunch of bunk beds with twin size beds on them, right? And there was this tradition that the people that had been there for a while had, and that was to make all the new people sleep on the top bunk. Now, the top bunk was about 2 feet from the ceiling. Like, it was really fucking tall.
Okay.
And now, given the ceilings were a little bit lower than the average ceiling, so it wasn't like stupid tall. But anyway, like, I'm a tall guy as it is. So if I would sit up in that bed, I'd hit my head on the ceiling, right?
Okay.
Now, here's the fun thing is, I'm pretty clumsy. That's just a fact of life.
Very true.
And what happened on, like, I'd been at the station now for about 3 months, and like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just fucking like cotton mouth, you need water, like you feel like you're gonna die kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to get up, I need to go get some water, and then I'm gonna go back to sleep. Because it was like 2:30 in the morning. I didn't have to be up for another 2.5 hours. Right. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna run down the hall real quick, get some water. And again, top bunk, completely forgot where I was. So I kicked my legs off and stood up.
Oh no!
And on the way down, I hit my face on a table, or like a not a table, a cabinet that we had for our clothes and shit. I hit my face on the cabinet, hit the back of my head back on the bed frame, and then as I fell forward, I smacked my head on the bedside table. So everybody that was in the unit that was sleeping in the barracks with me woke up because loud crashing sounds followed by moaning. The lights come on. The lights come on. So I'm delirious and now blind. And I stand up real quick, hit my head on the bottom of the bed frame, and effectively knock myself out again. So I wake up to smelling salts under my nose. And one of the old crotchety bastards that worked there, well, for the sake of the story, we'll call him, Petty Officer Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
His real name wasn't Petty Officer Richardson, but
sure.
But I can't remember his. I don't remember his actual name. So Petty Officer Richardson, this grumpy, like he was like 22 years in the military. Like, he had been in for fucking ever, but he had never made it. But he had never made it past a second class petty officer, which is like the 5th level up.
Okay.
So like with how much time he had been in, typically there were at least a first class petty officer or even a chief petty officer. But
Sure.
grumpy old bastard never got anywhere. Most of us, like a lot of us, feel like he did it because he didn't want to get more responsibility. I totally get
Sure.
that. That's my whole my whole mentality. So he's squatting over me, like it looks like he's about to take a dump on my chest where he's squatting with a
Okay.
thing of smelling salts under my nose, and he's like, "What the fuck were you doing?" And I was like, "I need to get some water." And he's like, "If you ever sleep above me again, I'm gonna beat you with a bar of soap in your sleep." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, now you get your little ass back in the bed and you stay there until it's time to get the fuck out of bed. And so I did. And the next morning I woke up and one of my eyes was not pointing the way it should have. Apparently I got a pretty serious concussion from it.
Jesus.
Well, you figure you have 4 points of contact enough so much that it knocks you unconscious. So yeah, I went to our like medical chief on site, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna send you home. You go lay down." He gave me an eye. He actually gave me an eye patch for my good eye. He's like, "Just till it resets." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Yeah. How the fuck am I supposed to get home? And he's like, "Oh, you'll be okay to drive probably." And I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, that was the time I knocked myself out trying to get a glass of water.
Good job.
I mean,
you woke up feeling like shit and ended up being worse off.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that like on one hand, it's like to our listeners, that sounds awesome. Like, oh man, you're so lucky you got to go home from work. Here's the thing: is that was already going to be my day off anyway. Like I was going to be leaving, and like at like 8 a.m, but having to go through everything with the medical chief, I didn't end up leaving till like 10:30.
Oh God.
So like I ended up staying longer at work because of it, but at the same time, it was good. I got looked at, found out I had a concussion. He patched me up so that way I didn't die.
Right.
So yeah, that was fuck, man. That's a memory I've forgotten about until just now.
Well, it doesn't sound like it was too terrible, but
yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't.
It could have been way worse.
You're not wrong. There is definitely things that could have gone way differently. I walked away from it with a bump on my head, and for that I'm very thankful because I didn't die.
Yeah.
Speaking of death,
oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding. I had nothing.
Well, we're off to a good start. We were having a good time, and now we're going to get morbid.
I mean, that's 98% of our lives, isn't it?
It's 98% of what I bring up. So,
speaking of death,
okay,
in a roundabout way, of the Fallout games. I don't think I don't think you've mentioned you never actually played any, but of them, right?
Yeah.
So like the whole premise is like world falls into chaos after nuclear war, and one of the things that it's basically a collectathon, but it's not one of those that you have to collect everything kind of collectathons. It's just like, oh my god, there's so much shit to pick up, right?
Sure.
One of the food items you can pick up in Fallout is a cereal called Sugar Bombs.
Okay.
Now, Sugar Bombs is apparently either a very popular cereal brand for companies to use, or B, it is something that ties together several different franchises.
Okay.
And, I like to think that it's the ties together several different franchises thing. And here's
why.
Because
Sugar Bomb is in a lot of things.
Sugar Bomb is in a lot of things. Now, here's one that I believe actually might be linked because of the aesthetics of everything, right? Okay. So one of the key things about the Fallout universe is during the baby boomer era, the 50s and 60s, there was a lot of technological advancements using nuclear power versus, gas power.
Okay.
And so a lot of things aesthetically were a lot more, you know, I don't want to say cyberpunk, but not cyberpunk, steampunk, but like, the old CRTVs and things like that.
Yes.
Like the old tube TVs, the ones that you turn them off and they pew.
Yep. Make your hair stand on end.
Right. So there is one Disney Pixar film that actually uses sugar bombs in the film, and it has a lot of that same aesthetic as far as electronic devices go.
Huh.
And that one is The Incredibles. Now, here's what my theory involving sugar bombs is with The Incredibles and Fallout, right?
Okay.
So, like I said, a lot of people were using the nuclear stuff instead of, gas powered, electrical powered, stuff like that. Which would in turn expose a lot more people to nuclear radiation, which in turn might lead to mutations, which in turn could create superheroes, right?
Sure.
Which in turn would bring about the Incredibles and all of the adventures they have. My theory is that the Incredibles takes place within the Fallout universe, or vice versa. I don't want to say that the Incredibles came first,
but like where?
Right before everything happened in the Fallout universe, right before the nuclear war happened.
Yeah, but there's still like technological advancements and the Incredibles that aren't in Fallout.
Such as?
Well, I mean, just look at the like style aesthetics and stuff.
Well, here's the thing is the aftermath, the nuclear explosion stuff that in Fallout typically takes place about 200 years before the storyline of the games take place. So what I'm thinking could have happened is because, like when the bombs drop, it's going to fuck everything up. But if you go through the game in Fallout 4, there are a lot of stylistic aesthetics that do very much reflect in the Incredibles. Like, in the Incredibles, when they get that new fancy house and they've got all the fancy like woodwork and all that kind of make like the inverted stairway pattern and everything.
Yes.
They have a lot of stuff like that, very similar to that in the Incredibles.
Okay.
Or not in the Incredibles, in Fallout. All of the cars that you see in Fallout, blown to shit. I'll give you that. They all have that same like 1950s, early 1960s aesthetic that you see in the Incredibles films. There's people first of that's definitely something there. I've run out of reasons that they're linked.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I was trying to give you some breathing room as to sell me on this idea that they're linked, but I think you fell apart.
I mean, aside like I said, from the sugar bombs and then a couple of the aesthetic connections, as well as like I honestly like looking at the way the Incredibles everything's going. I would say it's safe to assume that there might be nuclear power being used instead of gas power.
No, definitely, but Incredibles is very much like in its own like ambiguous timeline where it's like
Right.
There's a mix of 1950s, but also Mr. Incredible, at least in the first movie, especially when he's still an accountant, has a very 1980s boxy car.
Well, not only that, he also has a fucking he has an original Windows computer too.
Right.
So yeah, I feel what you're saying. And another one that actually seems more likely that it could be connected with the Incredibles, Calvin and Hobbes, the comic series by Bill Watterson.
Yes.
Also has sugar bombs.
Okay.
And as with the Incredibles, it also kind of doesn't really fit into a particular time period. So I feel like it's entirely possible Calvin and Hobbes might have a connection to the Incredibles.
I think if we're going to go this route, you have to look at the source. What came first? And that was obviously Calvin and Hobbes.
True.
So I think Fallout and the Incredibles are just imaginary scenarios created by Calvin.
I think that it's safe to say Calvin caused the fallout.
Except he didn't live in the 50s.
When would you say that Calvin lived?
Calvin absolutely lived in the 80s.
Okay, you know what? That's fair to say, just based on the way his
Look
dad.
at how his parents dress. I mean, his mom is rocking full-on 1980s high-waisted mom jeans.
God, his mom was so fucking hot.
I'm damn right.
God, I would do filthy. Calvin and Hobbes only ran for 10 years.
Yeah.
I thought that it went way longer than that.
No, but Bill Watterson ended it very, like, pretty much just like did what he wanted to do, and then that was it.
Well, yeah, he wanted to end it.
Never did any marketing or anything, like no product placements, no. That's why there's no like Calvin and Hobbes stuff. Not official.
It's true. Yeah, like he really I remember I think I read an interview where he was just like, yeah, I didn't want it to be one of those things that goes on forever and just gets worse as time goes by.
Yeah, he didn't want it to be Garfield.
Oh man, Garfield has had some rough ones.
But he's had good ones. Like
He's
so
had
much good.
He has had really good ones, but he's also had some really hard ones.
Yeah, lately it hasn't been great. The 3D revival of Garfield and Friends or whatever, the Garfield show.
God, that was
not good.
Yeah.
But like Garfield and Friends is great.
Yo, some of my favorite memories from my childhood are reading Garfield comics.
Mine too.
With my dick in my hand.
I didn't do that.
Well, to each his own.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah, potato, potato. But I think now that you're saying it like that, I do think that would be an entirely plausible like origin for both the Incredibles and
Fallout. Because look, it has Calvin constantly came up. He had Spaceman Spiff,
Stupendous Man.
Stupendous Man. He had all of like the snow monsters. All the monsters that lived under his bed.
And one of the things that I think
also,
really
Calvin was shown to be very philosophical, which falls into a lot of the like deeper context of Fallout.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what Fallout could be in theory is, a child all grown up that has decided that he's ready to make video games and feature some of his favorite boxes of cereal.
I mean, that's also true.
But one of the other things that really points to the fact that it might be Calvin that is making all this stuff up is look at the name he gave for his own superhero persona, Stupendous Man. Yeah. It's very clear he's not exactly the most creative when it comes to names. So Mr. Incredible's not that far off.
Spaceman Spiff?
I mean, Spaceman Spiff, sure, I'll give you that one. That one's a pretty good one. But like Mr. Incredible would very much be in that same vein as Stupendous Man.
Sure. I mean, it falls under like Calvin probably read Fantastic Four or something. Yeah. So who's to say he didn't just keep it simple?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you look at the powers that each of the Incredibles has, and you have effectively the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Except maybe Dash. But
yeah, but I mean,
yeah, the Flash.
You got a superhero team. You got to have someone that runs super fast.
Have you ever heard? There was this Tumblr blog years ago. I don't remember what the blog was. I just remember reading the what's it called? The it was a thing about speedsters, right?
Okay.
And would be really funny is that you have a superhero team that they all claim to have these different powers. Like one's a master archer, one's got super strength or whatever. So but each of them, it actually turns out that none of them have the superpower they claim to have. They're all just speedsters, and they don't know how to tell anybody any differently. Okay. So it's the Hawkeye version, he's really good at shooting a bow and arrow, when in reality he's awful with a bow and arrow, but he just runs so fast he puts the arrow where he wants it to go and then goes back and catches the bow before it hits the ground.
Okay.
And like, the guy with super strength, he doesn't actually punch really hard. It's just he runs up and hits so many times so fast that it feels like a really big punch.
Right.
And I was thinking like it would be so great to get a comic book series like that, because like one of the biggest things that you do that is often overlooked as with superhero comics, in my opinion, is the mental part of it, the mental stress that superheroes have to deal with from a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
But combine that with this ridiculous fucking situation of a team of speedsters that don't want to like none of them are willing to admit that they're actually a speedster. You just have a whole ball of anxiety because they know that they're a speedster, and their partners know that their partners are, like, each of them knows that they're individually speedsters, but they don't know the rest of the team is speedsters. It's kind of like that old thing about like, someone wanting to make a TV show where you put one straight guy in a house full of gay guys kind of thing, but it turns out they're all straight.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. If you're a speedster, you would be able to see if one of your teammates was going super fast.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, because if you're a speedster, the way that you perceive time and the way things move and work, like, you're going to see everything differently. So you would see, like, wait a minute, Hawkeye just ran about 500 miles an hour and put an arrow in somebody. He didn't shoot that arrow once.
Did Kenneth really just run up and punch that guy 800 times and try to pretend he was... Here's one counter argument I have to that.
Okay.
And that is, everyone would be so focused on trying to hide the fact that they're a speedster, they wouldn't be paying attention to their speedsters.
I don't think so. I mean, at that point, how does anybody in the Flash ever know about any other speedsters?
They'd get their ass kicked by one of them.
So you're going to tell me all the times that superheroes fight with one another that they're not going to notice that the dude that supposedly hits real hard one time is hitting them 100 times?
Look, man, I didn't write the blog. I'm just quoting it here.
No, I understand, but I'm just, you brought it to be talked about, and I'm just saying, like,
I didn't, Brandon. All I wanted you to say was, that's a great fucking idea, Mark. We should make that happen. But no, now you got to fucking shit all over my ideas.
Yeah, that's why we're friends.
Oh, fuck.
What did you think I was going to do? Suck your dick and tell you it was a great idea? Let's do it. Or blow holes in your bloody ship.
Wow, that was a great reference to one very specific part of Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think that's a very specific part that a lot of people remember.
I honestly don't remember much about Pirates of the Caribbean.
I do, because I was forced to watch it a whole lot.
Actually, now that I think about it, Pirates of the Caribbean was the first DVD I ever owned.
Really?
Really. And it was before I owned a fucking DVD player.
The first DVD I ever owned was Spider-Man.
Backdoor Sluts 7.
Wow. I didn't tell people I owned that. I hid it.
Well, I just outed you. Mr. Philbrook, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you didn't know that he kept it sandwiched between his mattress and his bed frame.
He doesn't listen to this.
God, that's my favorite thing when people ask, so does your family listen to this? No.
I sure hope not.
I have 3 people in my family that might listen to it, and it really depends on the day of on what episode it is. Because my brother surprises me sometimes. He's like, "Hey, I was listening to that most recent episode." I'm like, "Of what? Of your podcast?" Really? Why?
Why'd you listen? It was real funny. So the other day, I got a message from Jeremy.
From the hospital?
Yeah. And he messaged me and he goes, "Dude, I just got to the episode where, hold on, I'm going to pull up the message because he thought it was so funny. Here we go. He said, so I've been stuck in traffic listening to Mark talk about his 27-second jack sesh." He just laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji.
Wait, the one where I jacked it soft and came before I got hard?
Yeah.
God, I need to put that on. I need to figure out a way to put that on a resume.
I think that only works for resumes for podcasts.
No. Here's the thing: is if you word things the right way, you can, get away with putting, anything on a resume. Like I had a friend that used to
tell me, how efficient do you think? How would you tell me about how efficient you are? Where's your efficiency level? Well, sir, I jacked it in 27 seconds, and I wasn't even hard yet.
I'd leave
out this guy, man.
I'd leave out the part about me jerking off. I'd just be like, I get projects. I bring projects to climax before the stress starts to set in, or something like that. I'm not super good at resumes.
What does that mean? What kind of time frame are you giving me? And you're like, 27 seconds.
I mean, whatever you think of as a normal time frame, cut that in half. Oh my God.
Hold on a second. So you're going to tell me that 27 seconds is half for you?
Depends on the day.
But it depends on how close it is to being work.
Depends on how late I forgot to set my alarm.
Yeah, all these things matter.
All right, now, Mr. Walker, you have something on here about finishing in 27 seconds. What exactly was that? Oh yeah, I was man, I was about to go into a really stressful situation, and I said, you know what, I need some clarity. So I just whipped it out and beat it soft to completion. Oh yeah. He calls up his boss. Dude, we need to get this fucking kid in here now. He's a fucking badass.
This guy is a fucking genius. He's gonna increase our productivity timetable by fourfold.
Fourfold? What kind of voodoo magic is he working? No. Listen.
He beats it soft.
What? He climaxes soft. Get a meeting with the boss, like the big boss on the first day. All right, son. You smoke cigars? Yeah. Why? Light one up. I need you to tell me about this slow, soft stroke. Can I talk to HR? I am HR, son. Okay.
You want the job or not?
Yeah, I mean, can you put it away, please, sir? Let's talk about the job first.
You're already doing it wrong, sir. You've gotten it out. You're already hard.
Sir, you're already hard. No, son. I'm a natural 7 inches soft. And that's when I find my true calling in life.
That's when you fucked your boss.
That's when I bend over and just let him take it. Oh my God. So
HR?
No. So I was so as I've mentioned, I was house sitting, or I was dog sitting 5 dogs over the last over the last 10 days. Drove me insane, right? So today was the day I took 3 of them back to their house before I floated my car.
I put them down. Oh no.
No, so I get in the car, I load them up, and I'm taking them back to their house. And one of the dogs has really bad like separation anxiety.
Okay.
Which is really fun to deal with. But he's also very vocal.
Uh-huh.
But usually it's just like whimpers and kind of things. Sure. And then we were driving back to his house, and I shit you not, this dog went, "Oh yeah." But obviously not like a deep throaty man does it.
Sure.
I about crashed my car because it scared the shit out of me.
I would have too.
Yeah, and then I looked at him and I said, "Can you fucking talk?" And he looks at me and he goes, "What the fuck do you think, bitch?" I was like, "All right, fair enough."
And that's when you're like, "Oh shit, this dog's actually perfectly normal. I'm the one that has having an anxiety attack."
Oh God, don't even get me started about that. Oh, here's something fun.
Here's a query for you, fun little tidbit, if you will.
Okay, so here's something that I found out recently. Okay. Coconut milk or coconut water, whatever you want to call it, from actual coconuts, not the processed shit that we put in coffee.
Sure.
Coconut milk can be used for blood transfusions.
What?
Apparently the chemicals in coconut milk are very much what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's a suitable substitute for actual blood if you don't have it available, right?
This is news to me.
Right, news to me too. I found this out the hard way. But here's what that could
How
potentially.
did you find out the hard way?
Did I say I found that out the hard way?
You did.
Oh, hold up. Let me pull up the factoid for you.
Okay. Where's this
Okay.
fact coming from?
Hold up.
And are you bullshitting me?
I might have been bullshitted, but hold up. Somebody might have bullshitted
You
me.
might have been bullshitted.
I might have been gaslit. Okay. So apparently it's not like the optimal thing, but it has been used for blood transfusions in the past. Back in the 40s, there was a doctor in Havana that used it to basically save 12 children's lives. He gave them the biggest thing about it is the coconut has to be around like 7 to 8 months old. It has to be still sealed so that the coconut water inside is still sterile and all that. But in an emergency, it can be used as a blood substitute.
Have you ever smelled a bad coconut before?
No.
Like, not like at the store, but I'm talking like you found like a wild coconut and you ended up cracking it open only to find that it was bad.
Here's a fun fact for you. I'm not a huge fan
because
of
I've done that and it smelled like death.
Mm.
I thought I was gonna die. I was like, I hate everything. I hate this. I gagged. That was a fun day on the beach.
I don't drink coconut water. I don't actually eat coconut either.
I do both, but I did not that day. I just smelled it.
Mm. Gross. So with the thought of that coconut being a good substitute for blood, I actually have a question for you. Do you think it's possible that vampires living in the tropics where coconuts grow have started pretending for a moment that they exist? Do you think that they would use those as an alternative to sucking blood from humans and or other creatures?
That's a fascinating question. Well, if it can mimic or if it I think it has to come down to, well, what is it about blood that vampires need?
Right.
Is that in the coconut? Is that part that's in the coconut, or is that still devoid? Because coconut milk is not. If this is true and to be believed,
right?
What is it about coconut milk that makes it an okay substitute in dire situations?
Right. Now here, so with that, keeping that in mind, I like to think that there is a subculture of vampires out there from the tropics that are,
vegan.
They're vegan. There's a vegan group of vampires, and whenever they go to visit
VV.
we're the Vegpires.
The VVA, the Vegan Vampire Association.
I like to think that they'll occasionally go to visit their cousins in the north, in Europe and all that, and just be absolutely horrified when they sit down to dinner with them.
And they sit down to dinner and they're like, "Oh, here we go. We gotta listen to fucking what say like a vampire name, whatever, some ridiculous." And they're like, "Oh, we gotta sit here and listen."
You mean like Vlad?
Yeah. Well, here we go. We gotta listen to Vlad talk about how he's vegan.
Oh wait, if it's a tropical vampire, it'd be like Chet. Oh, here we go again. Chet's going off about fucking coconuts again. But here's an interesting thing. There's actually no vampires in Africa.
What?
So like you got the tropical vampires that, South America, the islands, things like that. You got the European vampires. There are no vampires in Africa.
Why?
Because Somebody already blessed the rains down in Africa.
That's disgusting. I hate you.
Hey,
It was awful. I should have seen that coming. And as
hey,
soon as you said it, I was just
hey.
ashamed.
But like if
Got
you really
it. Ugh.
like, you never really hear stories about vampires in Africa, though.
I think because they probably go by a different name. There's a lot. Every culture has some sort of like a vampire, vampire element to it in their culture somewhere.
Oh shit, you're right. They're called the I'm gonna butcher this, but it's a Obayifo?
Okay.
Obayifo? It's a vampire-like mythological creature from West Africa, coming from the folklore of the Ashanti. It's
Hmm.
also known as the Asaman by the Dahomey people. Um, let's see, they're described as having shifty eyes and being obsessed with food. It says they're
Oh no.
It's said when they travel at night, they emit a phosphorescent light from their armpits and their anus.
Wait, from their armpits? Well, maybe that's how they fly.
Their armpits and their assholes. And that is amazing.
Well, Mark, I mean, you have a butt plug that glows in the dark, so I mean,
No, that one broke.
oh.
I clenched down too hard on it.
Oh, so now it's just permanently, you just look like a little lightning bug all the time.
Yeah, it's my little lightning butt.
Oh, shaking a little lightning butt.
Oh my
Dumb
god.
fucking show. Jesus Christ.
What show was that again?
You and I.
Oh, our show. Yeah, we're dumb. So I do want to leave our listeners
Just
with
leave it at that. I do want to leave.
I do want to leave our listeners with one final thought for tonight.
Okay.
So in the animal kingdom, there is a very specific trait that can help you tell apart carnivores, or rather, the predators versus the prey, right?
Okay.
And that is the position of their eyes. Most prey, which are herbivores, etc., have the eyes on the side of their heads. Sheep, cows, horses all exhibit this,
Sure.
as well as most wild deer. Now, predators have forward-facing eyes. If you look at lions, tigers, bears, oh
Oh
my,
my.
yeah, they all have forward-facing eyes. Now, there is a creature that was brought to existence back in the 90s that found its way into many children's homes and became the bane of many many parents' existences, and that was the Furby.
Eyes very front facing forward.
Yeah, that's the thing is Furby was definitely a fucking predator.
Oh, absolutely. Furby is an alien predator that has brought itself into our homes by looking cute and also disturbing, but that's part of its allure. And it lulls children into a false sense of security through ownership, and then it devours them in their sleep.
God, those things were fucking creepy. I remember, like,
I
even
still
after you
can't get over that one video of that dude who like fried it in a microwave. It's still the most terrifying video I've ever seen.
I've never seen that, but
Oh, it's
um,
crazy.
like my neighbors had a Furby who they took the batteries out years ago,
And
like
it still
years
kept
before,
talking.
and it still would keep talking. But it was like that creepy, like deformed, like batteries are dead kind of talking. So it would be like
Yeah.
hungry.
Yep.
God. So
I think
so
it's haunted.
listeners, if you have a Furby at home, kill it.
Burn it.
Kill it before it kills you.
Kill it until it's dead.
Today. Oh,
All
that was a
right.
good.
Well, Mark,
That was
that's a hell of a final closing note to leave on.
I figure we should start doing closing notes.
I agree. I think that's fine. It's good that we get to workshop these things together before the idiots ruin everything for us.
Brandon, we are the idiots.
Right. We're going to ruin things for us.
We already have. I've ruined everything for us.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
sure do.
I can't help it. That's just the way I roll.